The San Francisco 49ers just got hit with some pretty surprising news. That has been stirring up quite a bit of discussion among fans and analysts alike. And today we're going to dive deep into what this means for the team moving forward. Now, if you're someone who follows the 49ers closely and loves breaking down every move, every draft pick, and every piece of news, you're definitely in the right place. There's been a lot coming out lately, but one particular report caught my attention because it challenges a lot of the assumptions many of us had going into the future of the team. So here's the deal. Pro Football Focus, or PFF for short, recently released their evaluation of what they believe is the biggest need for the 49ers heading into the 2026 NFL Draft. And if you're expecting that they would say offensive tackle, given Trent Williams is aging and the team has a clear question mark at that position, then you're in for a twist, because the analysts at PFF, specifically Trevor Siekema, have pointed to a completely different area of concern: the secondary, and more specifically, the safety position. Now, this might seem a little puzzling at first glance, especially since the offensive line has been such a big topic for years now. But when you peel back the layers, it actually opens up a pretty interesting conversation about the current roster and how the 49ers are thinking about their future. At first, you might be asking yourself, why are we even talking about the 2026 draft? Isn't that way too early? And that's a totally fair question, because generally, teams and fans focus heavily on the upcoming draft or maybe 1 year ahead. But the truth is, for a franchise like the 49ers that has been competing at a high level consistently, planning multiple years in advance is absolutely crucial. They aren't just looking to patch holes quickly, they want to build a sustainable, competitive roster for the long haul. So, when PFF lays out their take on the biggest positional needs for 2026, it gives us a window into how the team might be thinking long-term, even if some of those plans seem counterintuitive, right? Now, looking back at recent seasons, the offensive tackle spot has always been a hot topic, because Trent Williams is undeniably one of the best tackles of his generation. But he's not getting any younger. He's played at an elite level for years. But eventually, the 49ers will need to find a reliable replacement. In many mock drafts and fan discussions, the assumption has been that the team would prioritize drafting or signing a tackle fairly early to groom them into that role well before Williams steps away. But in reality, the 49ers have not jumped on that bandwagon just yet. In fact, they passed on taking a tackle early in the 2025 draft, which surprised a lot of people who expected them to be more proactive. Instead, the team has chosen a more gradual approach, banking on the idea that they can develop talent over time and maybe use later draft picks or free agency to fill those gaps when necessary. This is where the PFF analysis really stands out. According to Trevor Siekema, the biggest need for the 49ers in 2026 isn't defensive tackle, but rather the safety position in the secondary. Now, the safety role might not get as much spotlight as the flashy offensive positions, but it's a key piece of the defense puzzle. The 49ers lost Talanoa Hufanga in free agency recently, which definitely created some ripples because he was a crucial part of their defense, particularly as a downhill, aggressive safety. However, the team believes they have capable players like Malik Mustafa and Jermaine Brown to fill that strong safety role, which leaves the question of who will handle the single high safety duties, the player responsible for deep coverage in a cover 3 defense, often the last line of defense in the secondary. If you watch the 49ers on defense, this single high safety role is vital. It requires someone with great instincts, speed, and coverage skills to prevent big plays down the field. According to the grades PFF gave, Jermaine Brown showed promise last season with a decent coverage grade, while Malik Mustafa struggled more in that area. This raises concerns about whether the current roster has a true lockdown free safety who can consistently perform at that level. Adding to the intrigue, the return of Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator could mean some changes in how the safeties are utilized and who gets the nod to play that crucial single high spot. What makes this assessment especially interesting is that it challenges the narrative that the 49ers' biggest problem heading into the next few drafts is just replacing Hufanga or fixing the offensive tackle position. Instead, it shines a light on a less obvious, but no less important, area of need, and to me, that reveals a deeper question about how the 49ers view their current roster. Are they confident that the offensive line can hold together a little longer with the pieces they have, while the secondary needs more attention to shore up potential weak spots? Or is this a strategic move reflecting their belief that they can address offensive line issues in other ways, like free agency or later draft rounds, without sacrificing their early picks. But let's not forget the bigger picture. PFF, while highly respected for its in-depth stats and metrics, has sometimes missed the mark on evaluating the 49ers roster this offseason. A lot of analysts have been hyper-focused on the need to replace Hufanga immediately, treating it as the single most pressing issue. Yet, if you remember how last season went, Hufanga's health was a roller coaster. He struggled with injuries, missed games, and wasn't quite the same player when he first came back. It wasn't until later in the year that he looked like the dominant force the 49ers were counting on. So, the urgency to find a direct replacement at safety might be overstated. The team seems to believe they have solid young safeties who just need the right coaching and development to step up, especially with Saleh back running the defense. The same kind of thinking applies to other positions as well. Take Deebo Samuel's replacement. For example, there's been a lot of talk about how the 49ers need to find a guy who can replicate what Deebo brought to the table: his speed, versatility, and ability to make big plays in space. But the reality is, the team might already have players on the roster like Jacob Cowing or Ricky Pearsall who can handle similar roles, even if they don't mirror Deebo's exact style or physical build. The 49ers have shown a tendency to value versatility and multiple weapons, rather than trying to replace a star player one-to-one. When you zoom out, this approach fits a broader philosophy that the 49ers seem to be embracing: build depth, develop young talent, and avoid reaching for a perfect plug-and-play replacement every time a veteran leaves. It's a long-term plan, one that demands patience and trust in the coaching staff's ability to mold players into contributors over time. That said, it also means there are still quite a few question marks on the roster, especially when it comes to the offensive line beyond just the tackle spot. Dominic Calzada, for instance, is a promising young player who showed flashes in his rookie season, and the team hopes he can be a cornerstone for years to come. But beyond him, there are uncertainties about other positions on the line: left guard, right tackle, and even depth spots where experience is thin. Add to that the looming need to pay Cole McKibbins after this season, and you've got a situation where the 49ers must carefully balance development with maintaining a competitive lineup. The offensive line is foundational to everything else, from protecting the quarterback to opening lanes for the running game, so any gaps here can ripple across the entire offense. And while the team might be comfortable waiting to address these issues in later rounds of the draft or through free agency, fans and analysts understandably want more clarity on how those moves will pan out. Meanwhile, the defense is full of youthful talent, especially on the defensive line, with players like Mike Williams, Alfred Collins, and C.J. West stepping into bigger roles. Their development will be critical if the 49ers want to keep their defensive front strong and maintain pressure on opposing quarterbacks. But as with any young group, there's no guarantee that everyone will reach their potential, and that adds another layer of uncertainty. Fred Warner, the veteran linebacker and team leader, remains a key figure, but even behind him, the 49ers have yet to identify a consistent number to linebacker who can carry the load. And then there's the special teams unit, which sometimes gets overlooked but can make or break close games. The kicking position, in particular, has been a source of concern, with Jake Moody and Brock Joseph battling for the job. Neither has shown the consistent elite level that the team and fans hope for, which means this might become another area the 49ers have to address sooner rather than later. Moody's struggles last season, including changes in his kicking mechanics, suggests he's still working through confidence issues. The best-case scenario is that he regains his form and becomes a reliable asset, but there's always a chance the team will have to look elsewhere if that doesn't happen. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is abuzz with a seismic rumor that could shake the foundations of the league. Christian McCaffrey, the dynamic running back who has been a cornerstone of the San Francisco 49ers offense, is reportedly on the verge of an unexpected departure. Whispers from multiple league sources suggest a stunning trade negotiation is in its final stages, potentially sending McCaffrey to a new team in a move that would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the NFL landscape. While details remain shrouded in secrecy, the possibility of McCaffrey leaving the Bay Area is being met with a mixture of disbelief and frantic speculation. The star running back has been instrumental in the 49ers' recent success, providing a dual-threat presence in both the run and passing games that few others in the league can match. His absence would leave a gaping hole in Kyle Shanahan's meticulously crafted offensive scheme, forcing a significant reevaluation of their strategy for the upcoming season. The sheer audacity of such a move has pundits and fans alike scrambling to decipher the potential motivations behind it. Could it be a salary cap maneuver by the 49ers, looking to free up significant funds for other roster needs? Or perhaps a desire from McCaffrey's camp for a change of scenery, or a more lucrative long-term deal elsewhere? The answers, for now, are purely speculative, fueling the fervent discussions across sports networks and social media. Should this rumor materialize into reality, it would undoubtedly be one of the most talked about transactions of the offseason, reshaping not only the 49ers' prospects, but also significantly impacting the competitive balance of whichever conference McCaffrey lands in. The football world watches with bated breath as this intriguing possibility continues to gain traction, promising a dramatic turn of events for one of the NFL's most recognizable stars. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.